Grenada may be struck from the EU's tax haven list. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Thursday, January 11. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Grenada could be removed from the European Union's blacklist as early as month-end. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell said on a local television program the removal is expected to take place after a meeting of the Financial and Economic Unit of the OECD set for January 23rd. Grenada was among 17 countries blacklisted by the EU late last year for failing to sign and ratify the OECD Multilateral Convention on Mutual Administrative Assistance and not clearly committing to addressing the issue by December 2018. But in his government's defense, Prime Minister Mitchell said the country should not have been placed on the list in the first place since it has met all the required conditions.
On January 23rd, the Financial and Economic Unit of the OECD will be meeting after the response from Grenada. And of course, we pointed out the mistakes that were made. Grenada is expected to be removed before the end of January from that blacklist. So I think we would have gone through that process successfully.
In November last year, the Finance Ministry sent letters to the EU Code of Conduct Group indicating its commitment to comply with all the criteria set up for the EU Council for Transparency and Fairness in Taxation. But Mitchell says the country requested specific communication from the OECD that was long in coming.
And specifically in the case of Grenada, we had asked for some communication be sent to us so that we'll move and deal with what we're supposed to do. And we did not, they took a very long time to send it. So since the blacklist came on, they've sent the information, we have then replied, and as I said, before the end of the month, from indication we correspondent received last week, we expect to be removed from that blacklist.
With more than 40 murders reported in Jamaica since the start of the year, the U.S. State Department has posted a travel advisory warning Americans to exercise increased caution in the country. The advisory posted on the department's website on Wednesday stated that some areas have increased risk and warned U.S. citizens not to travel to some areas of Kingston, Spanish Town and Montego Bay. It said violent crimes such as home invasions, armed robberies and homicides are common. Sexual assaults occur frequently, even at all-inclusive resorts, and Jamaican police lack the resources to respond effectively to serious crimes. U.S. government personnel have also been prohibited from driving outside of the capital, Kingston, at night. As it relates to Kingston, the State Department says violence and shootings occur regularly in some areas. And over in Trinidad and Tobago, former Prime Minister Basdeo Panday says corruption is one of the main problems in the Twin Island Republic's police force. And he says the issue's not new, they've been around for decades. Panday, who also served as National Security Minister, said he attempted to implement changes, but there was resistance. He was speaking on Wednesday before a Joint Select Committee on National Security.
He explained that many of the problems plaguing the police service were recurring from as far back as his tenure as National Security Minister, and they were systemic. He explained that during his tenure, many within the public service expressed reluctance to accept a computerized system, as some were afraid that they would lose their jobs, while others felt it would shake up a system which benefited them.
If you go through this report, you will see that if technology was used, they would solve a lot of problems. But people fear technology not only because they lose their jobs, but because it reduces the opportunity for corruption.
But he said this thinking was present within the wider political system As he pointed out, the bureaucracy continued to be a hindrance, and he pointed to the government's failure to appoint a police commissioner for the past 6 years as an example.
The whole system is corrupt. And the point about it is, I really eventually do not blame the people. I blame the system. And the present political system does not allow for control. First of all, ministers should not be members of parliament. They have enough work to do. The executive must be separated from the judiciary. You need fundamental change. That's what you need.
He explained that during his time as National Security Minister, he held weekly meetings with various heads of division, detailed their issues and addressed them. Yet when problems persisted, it became apparent that the failure lay deep in the system.
Public, first of all, let me apologize for the quality, that's the audio quality of that package. But still, in the Twin Island Republic, a senior superintendent of police is calling for legislation to protect the identity of witnesses. He says people are fearful of coming forward to give information on crime. The senior officer was speaking as he and members of the Victim and Witness Support Unit visited the Morval Laventil Secondary School on Wednesday morning to support students traumatized by the death of one of their classmates, a 14-year-old Joshua Andrew. Andrew was killed on his way home from school on Monday when gunmen opened fire on the taxi in which he was traveling. The taxi driver was also shot and died when his vehicle went up in flames. We get more in this report from Nisha John Mohammed of TV6 News.
Head of the Northeastern Division, Senior Superintendent Surendra Sagram Singh and his team believe criminals have transcended the boundaries of criminality, and so too must the legislation. He noted that the Bahamas have enacted legislation to allow witnesses to give evidence under anonymity, which has proven to be very effective. Sagram Singh says most witnesses fear reprisal, and the criminals use that to their advantage.
I don't want to be the person to bash anybody, but it's important that somebody speak about it. My background would have been prosecuting for over 17 years, so I know how witnesses think. So, you know, I'm just asking that God would inspire persons so that they could draft legislation in that regard.
He also believes that had the anti-gang bill been passed, it would have helped to clean up the streets and probably prevent the death of 15-year-old Joshua Andrews.
We feel that it is critical for us to be more aggressive. As police officers, you know, we can only operate within our limited resources and constraints. And I just want to take an opportunity now to make a clarion call to the different agencies and persons responsible that if they can create an environment for more conducive for the police to act.
Aisha Kobi of the Victim and Witness Support Unit of the TTPS said that they will be offering support to the students and their families, as well as teachers and members of the community who have been left shaken by this latest incident.
We are also willing to do interventions in terms of workshops to promote that type of anti-crime behavior amongst the population. All right. We understand that these students would also be witnesses, and there are significant challenges at times with witnesses wanting to come forward. In the psychosocial support with the families, we would be visiting the families and looking at the needs that may exist and see how we can tailor not just counseling, but sometimes there may be other needs in these families.
On Monday, 15-year-old Joshua Andrews was shot and then burned to death along with the driver of a PH car after the vehicle in which they were in was shot at by gunmen in Mova.
Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, an opposition MP in Antigua and Barbuda threatens to sue the Prime Minister. That story and more after the break. Stay with us.
know that a strategy has been developed to help improve the region's education and human resources?
You didn't? Well, the HID strategy, as it is called, will guide CARICOM in how it delivers quality education and training to the people of the region.
The strategy has been crafted by a group of experts called the HRD Commission.
Consultations have been done across the region to get your input.
Do you know that none of us will be left behind?
The HRD strategy is important to all of us, students, parents, and employers. It will prepare the region, especially the youth, for the 21st century economy and society.
The HRD strategy, unlocking Caribbean human potential.
South Africa defeat India in low-scoring Test cricket thriller.
Saha taking 10 catches for the match as India was set 208 for victory.
Gone straight up and gone. How far has it gone? Not far enough.
Morné Morkel made the early breakthroughs for the hosts as he and Vernon Philander reduced the tourists to 3 for 39.
Oh, that's a beauty.
We continue in Antigua and Barbuda, where opposition MP Wilmoth Daniel is threatening to sue Prime Minister Gaston Brown for comments he recently made in Parliament. Daniel's lawyer Charlesworth Tabor said the Prime Minister's comments were made during the suspension of the sit-in on January 2nd and are therefore not subject to parliamentary immunity. The attorney said he wrote to Brown on Wednesday requesting an apology within 14 days, failing which he would begin legal proceedings against him. But in an audio statement on Thursday, Prime Minister Brown said he's not apologizing.
This is to confirm that on the 2nd of January of 2018, during a sitting of the Parliament, that I said to one of my colleague parliamentarians that I had reliable information to confirm that a report was made to the police indicating that that particular parliamentarian paid the person a certain sum of money to burn a building in St. John's, and that the parliamentarian did so in order to get insurance money. I make no apologies about that statement, which was made within the parliamentary chambers. And if it is that the individual is trying to intimidate me, then it will not work.
Tabor's letter to Brown made reference to similar comments made by the Prime Minister on his radio station Point FM. Brown said those statements had nothing to do with Daniel and will not apologize to him. He instead said he will apologize to the people of Antigua and Barbuda.
Subsequent statement on Point FM about another person. And this person is a candidate of the UPP who has been involved in 3 fires, not one, but 3 fires. And I find it extremely laughable that without calling the person's name, that Wilmoth Daniel would assume that I was speaking about him. Now, if it is that he is guilty and that the cap fits him, then I say to him that I make no apologies for my articulations. However, I apologize to the entire nation on his behalf if indeed he is guilty.
A search has been launched in the Caribbean waters after a boat carrying 34 Venezuelans capsized near the Dutch island of Curacao. 4 people were killed and another 28 reported missing. Regional Civil Protection Director Jose Montano said the boat departed Venezuela for the Dutch Caribbean island on Tuesday. Reuters reported that police and relatives of the surviving passengers confirmed the boat was trying to reach Willemstad in Curacao despite a travel ban imposed by the Venezuela government. The incident occurred amid heightened tensions after President Nicolas Maduro ordered a temporary trade blockade with Curacao, Aruba and Bonaire last Friday. Venezuelan authorities allege the smuggling of products to neighboring countries is one of the causes of the severe shortage of food and other basic products facing the South American nation. The Jamaica government has offered teachers an improved offer in wage negotiations. Jamaica Teachers Association, the JTA, says it has received a favorable response from the Andrew Holness administration in one aspect of its claim in the ongoing wage talks, but it's mum on the details. Following a meeting at the Finance Ministry last week, the JTA had put the government on notice that it could not guarantee normalcy in the education system unless it got a response to its demands for an offer above the 6% increase over 2 years by Monday at 5 p.m. Now news is emerging from JTA President Georgia War Richards that some progress has been made.
Prime Minister himself called the president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, expressing his knowledge of the cabinet discourse and that the issues that were sent were looked at in a favorable way.
Details weren't provided. However, the JTA has been asking government to provide additional fringe benefits and to rethink the 6% offer. Mrs. War Richards says the Prime Minister also had a request.
He further asked that we give more time to cabinet to look at the percentage that was offered on basic wage, as cabinet will retreat on Wednesday and the retreat will end on Friday. And so as it relates to that matter, we will hear from the government on Friday.
The JTA president added that they were also contacted by other government officials.
We also met with government officials where we were told that those fringe benefit items that went to cabinet were all looked at positively.
We also asked if the JTA is pleased with the Prime Minister's intervention.
I expected that at some point the Prime Minister would have stepped in, because as I said to you earlier, it was a long, hard road. The teachers became anxious and the teachers were restive. And so if you get to a situation where the heat is on, you're expecting that someone will mediate. And so I was expecting that at some point he would have entered the dialogue.
And ahead in Newsline Sport, an impasse between the Reggae Boys head coach and the Jamaica Football Federation. Stay with us. Sport is next.
Did you know that a strategy has been developed to help improve the region's education and human resources?
You didn't? Well, the HID strategy, as it is called, will guide CARICOM in how it delivers quality education and training to the people of the region.
The strategy has been crafted by a group of experts called the HRD Commission.
Consultations have been done across the region to get your input.
Do you know that none of us will be left behind?
The HRD strategy is important to all of us: students, parents, and employers. It will prepare the region, especially the youth, for the 21st century economy and society.
The HRD strategy, unlocking Caribbean human potential.
Come and experience fun, meeting amazing people, and enjoying fantastic food at the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival. 5 days of festivities from June 27th to July 1st of 2018, with main stage performances from the 28th to the 30th. Here's the first wave of confirmed acts: the legendary Patti LaBelle, Queen of Dancehall, Spice, Miss Lauryn Hill. Many more acts to be announced. Book now and save the date. For more information, log on to stkidsmusicfestival.net. The St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
So there's a greater purpose here, you believe?
Always, always, always.
And have you delved enough to tell us? Because a lot of people want to know. They want to figure out why Trump's in the White House. Really, they do. Because they're still baffled. Given what they see as his behavior and what he does, I'm just talking to them. You've heard it. They just think it understand.
Well, there are many ways that you.
And they don't need to understand it, do they?
Well, no. There are many ways that you can look at it, many interpretations that you could give to this. But I think for me, especially in my context and in the context of others, all right.
We begin our sports segment with news of an impasse between Reggae Boys head coach Theodore Whitmore and the Jamaica Football Federation. Word is that Whitmore has refused to sign a new contract with the JFF. The Reggae Boys are preparing for their first international friendly at the end of the month, and the former midfielder and his assistant head coach want better pay packages to continue on the job. But the JFF says it simply cannot afford to pay the head coach more money. TVJ's Keon Rayner has that story.
Only months ago, the Michael Ricketts-led JFF decided to make the senior Reggae Boys coaching staff led by Theodore Tapper Whitmore permanent. But since that time, TVJ Sports understands that only one member of staff, physical trainer Lamar Morgan, had signed the contract. TVJ Sports further understand that the contract being offered now seems disrespectful. That's a far cry from what Ricketts outlined on Hits 92 FM's Sports Grill when talking with Group Head of Sports Patrick Anderson on Monday.
Let me be very honest with you. They are satisfied with the contents of the contract, but the truth is that they have not yet put pen to paper.
Then if they're satisfied, why haven't they signed? Mr. Ricketts, I don't want you to...
Let me tell you.
Wait, Mr. Ricketts, I don't want you to perhaps, if Tapper if Tapper says he's happy for $500,000, I need you to pay more than that,
I would love to pay him a lot more.
Yes.
But affordability is an issue. We have been having discussions. He knows the content. He has been to the office. He has gone through. But the truth is that they have not yet put pen to paper.
Are you concerned that they haven't signed, or is it that it's some little nicks and knacks that you will iron out?
I'm aware of the contents, and they are satisfied and they are comfortable.
But our sources have revealed that neither Whitmore nor assistant coach Wade saw the contracts up to that time. Wade happened to see his contract on Tuesday, but left the JFF without signing what we understand was a $150,000 per month contract. As for Whitmore's salary, we understand that it is 3 times less than what he was receiving in 2010. Our sources told us that Whitmore will not sign the undervalued contract either. We also understand that goalkeeper coach Warren Barrett is also yet to sign. The Reggae Boys will play away to South Korea on January 30.
Staying in Kingston, athletics chief Dr. Warren Blake says the resumption of government funding is imperative if the national program is to continue to develop. The Jamaica Athletes Administrative Association was saddled with a deficit of $442,750 at the end of the last financial year in September 2017. And Dr. Blake said, unless government cash becomes available, the care of athletes could be compromised. The administrator says government expressed a wish to continue the program, but the funds were not forthcoming. Dr. Blake explained that once that fund dries up, following the Rio Olympics in 2016, the JAAA was forced to supplement the program with its own funds. Jamaica sent a 56-member team to the London World Championships, and Dr. Blake stressed the association's vision was to ensure athletes who attained qualifying standards were given every opportunity to develop at international competitions. Over to athletics. A Cayman Islands national record holder in the 100-meter sprint plans to stamp his authority in the event in 2 international meets this year. Kimar Hyman is setting his sights on making a sub-10 finish in the Commonwealth Games and the Caribbean and Central American Games. Cayman's 27th Jordan Aminis spoke with the sprinter, who believes his time is running out to accomplish that feat.
28 is usually it's not their peak time, I should say. I've seen athletes where they reach 30, 31, 32 and still running PRs.
Can Cayman's Kamar Hyman do something he hasn't done in almost 6 years? Run sub 10 seconds in the 100 meters.
I would say it's there. We just need to tweak the training a little bit where, hey, look, I'm older now, so we got to implement different strategies so that I can get a different output.
Hyman says he's gone back to the drawing board. And that means perfecting his craft and the science of the 100 meters.
I try to stay absolutely relaxed because there's a lot of athletes that would try to take you out of your game plan with jumping up and down, as you said.
Hyman breaks down his 100 meters into 3 parts.
I mean, the first 30 is kind of, as soon as you get into the blocks, it happens so quick that you don't even remember. So things that we try to do is a lot of reps. Good arm drive, great push.
That's where Hyman shifts into the second phase of the race.
When you reach the second 30, which is the 60 meters now, you tend to get out of your drive phase and try to stay tall, like basically on your toes, and try to finish the race with whatever push you gave for the first to 60 meters and then through the race.
With the final phase being the most trying.
Hold on for dear life. Try to keep your form. Try not to break down.
And in arguably the sport's most prestigious event, Hyman knows there is no room for error.
You only have one chance to, when the gun goes off, you have one chance. So you have to absolutely perfect that.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
This is the plaintiff, Juicy Pecan. He's suing for the cost of a real tax professional after he was audited by the IRS for $595 plus a late filing penalty of $250. This is the defendant, Tax Diddy. He claims he hooks everybody up and never had a problem. This is the case of Homeboy Tax Services.
Officers down the north. Continue.
Okay, so I'm here before you come in, and he said, yo, can do his taxes?
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and Carib Vision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today. Or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and Carib Vision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-3889. Call and book your carnival or event today. Again, the major developments of this day: Grenada could be removed from the European Union's tax haven list as early as month end. And in sport, Reggae Boys head coach Theodore Whitmore refuses to sign a new contract with the Jamaica Football Federation. He's asking for a better deal. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to CarnaNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching and do have yourselves a good night.